Last week was NAMM week, so your YouTube feed was probably battered by loads of product announcements and demonstrations, and if you're anything like me, you're probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Hey guys, I'm Jason and I'm going to help you out with that by giving you a roundup of all the biggest news coming out of NAMM 2025. IK Multimedia took the modelling and capture world by storm with their ToneX and ToneX 1 pedals, and now they've introduced a powered FR cab to pair with your digital modeler. With 350 watts of power, a 3-band EQ, IR loading capabilities and 8 preset slots on board, it's certainly got our attention. It is a pricey boy though, coming in significantly more expensive than Fender's recent foray into the FR market. Our very own Lee from Pedalboards of Doom is working with a brand new pedal company launching at NAMM 2025, Thorn Sound Labs. They are launching with an extensive range of pedals, 9 in total, mainly focused around drive, fuzz and compression, but they are throwing in a tremolo and a boost as well at launch. These pedals will be arriving around the April time, and you can be sure that we'll be checking them out here on Pedalboards of Doom. Boss announced a shrunk down version of their Wazacraft tube amp expander. The new model is a much more compact version that they're calling the Tube Amp Expander Core. It retains many of the features of its big brother, but coming in at a significantly reduced price, $599 in the UK and $699 US dollars and €699 euros. Along with the Tube Amp Expander, Boss also announced a new model in their guitar synth line, mainly focused on guitar modelling. The VG800 pairs with the GK5 pickup system to provide alternate tunings, as well as amplifiers, effects and different guitar models. Want to make your Strat sound like a Les Paul? Well, apparently this is the device to do that. A few years back, NAMM released the Ridge, an all-analog overdrive pedal that could sound like any other overdrive pedal on the market. They followed that up a little later with the Moho, which has the same approach but for fuzz, and now they're releasing the Ellipse, which brings the same concept to a multi-modulation pedal. Marshall were rumoured to be bringing big things to the show this year, but honestly, I think they kind of left people wanting a bit more. They've launched a range of overdrive pedals that mimic some of their classic amps throughout the years, and from the demos I've heard, they sound pretty decent. They're also not crazy expensive, but I suppose time will tell as to whether they find an audience. They also announced a JCM 900 studio model that joins the rest of the studio range. An amp that I'm not sure the world was really clamouring for, but hey, it's nice to see another addition into that really quite cool range. And finally, they've announced their modified amp range. These are classic amps that they've applied popular modifications to from the factory. These are all hand-wired and they are expensive. Currently they have a JCM 800 and a 1959 in the range. Last year at NAMM, Music Man and Rabir Masad announced his signature Sabre full fat Music Man version, an awesome guitar, but boy was it pricey. Now Rabir has been teasing a release all year, and finally at NAMM they have announced the sterling, more affordable version of his signature guitar. They seem to have done an impressive job of retaining some of the key specs and features of the Music Man version, with the obvious omission of Rabir's signature bare knuckle pickups, obviously removed to keep the cost down. We were taking bets in the Pedalboards of Doom team as to how much this guitar was going to cost, and I was pleasantly surprised to be able to say I was actually quite wrong. I was guessing around £1,200, $1,500 US dollars, and actually the guitar seems to have come in for around $899 US dollars, which I think is pretty reasonable for the guitar and the specs. But let me know what you think in the comments. And Rabir, in the unlikely event that you're watching this video, I will gladly take one to demo. Cheers. Fender were back at NAMM for the first time in years, although it does seem they didn't have a booth on the show floor, rather opting for a private demo space instead. Remember the Mexican Standard range? Well, that used to be the most affordable way to get a Fender style guitar with Fender on the headstock. That is, of course, until it was replaced with the Player series and now the Player 2 series. Well, the Player series has seen some serious price creep since it launched, and it's no longer the affordable Fender like the series it replaced. But fear not, the standard series is back, but with a catch. Yes, it's back, and in many ways it's just like that discontinued series, except for a couple of key points. Firstly, rosewood is nowhere to be seen, replaced with Indian laurel, forgivable perhaps given the low cost of these guitars. Secondly, these are no longer made in Mexico. These are being made out of the Indonesia factory. Now, it's not the first time Fender have made Fender branded guitars out of that factory, but no doubt the move will irk some. Starting at $499, they sit in a weird place in the range. Will you be picking one up? Let us know in the comments. Back at Guitar Summit 2023, Harley Benton teased, wait, actually, no, they just plain showed off the prototypes of a guitar that would make Blink 182 fans pull a double take. Named at the time the ST-182, wink wink, it looked an awful lot like a guitar that Fender had reissued earlier that year. Well, much later than expected, those guitars have now made it to the market with a few tweaks that were made no doubt to keep Fender's lawyers at bay. These new models of the ST Modern Plus come in a HH variant and retain the overall look of those teased guitars, but add in an additional humbucker in the neck position. As someone that fell for the hype around the Tom DeLonge reissue and then later sold it at a massive loss, these guitars definitely appeal to me. Well, that's it guys, that's our highlights from the NAMM 2025 show. But I'm also going to quickly read off some honourable mentions just over here, so bear with me. So Thorpy released a non-limited version of their 06 pedal. Orange released some new pedal platform amplifiers. Walrus Audio released the Chi Etherealizer with Yvette Young. Schecter released their first headless guitar, a signature model for Sinister Gates. Digitech released a signature version of the Whammy 5 with Mono Neon. Music Man released a Stingray 2 designed in collaboration with Corey Wong, and it's a guitar take on the classic Stingray bass. And finally, Mesa Boogie announced a reissue of the classic dual rectifier. Wow, that was a long list, and these were just our highlights from the show. I'm sure there was a load of stuff that we missed that we didn't cover in the video. So comment your favourite NAMM release in the comments below. Also, do let us know if there was anything announced that you'd like us to cover in a video on the channel, and we'll do our best to get hold of it. Wrapping up then, NAMM seem to be back in full force this year, which is really great to see, and hopefully sometime in the future the Pedalboards of Doom team can make it over to LA to be at the show live. We can dream, eh? Check us out at Pedalboards of Doom on Instagram, and do head over to Facebook and join our massive Facebook group. We've got over 180,000 members in there, so loads of great guitar discussion happening every day. Last week, our Budge checked out the Behringer Centaur. You can check that video out by clicking over here. I've been Jason for Pedalboards of Doom. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.